Ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply honoured and delighted to be able to announce this evening the setting up of our charity Giving for Living. Giving for Living is going to enhance, improve and revolutionise the lives of quadriplegics and paraplegics throughout the UK. That is the sole purpose of setting it up. We will be playing an integral role with the current national healthcare system and working hand in glove with NHS staff. So how are we going to achieve this enormous goal? We intend to carry out an in-depth study into every single unit that exists within the UK on a regional basis. We are going to be looking at their staffing levels. We are also going to be looking at units that have outdated equipment. We will be looking at units that are stretched, that have insufficient beds. We know that this particular area of the healthcare system has received and is indeed deeply underfunded over the last decade. We are also aware that over the last decade, huge research has been undertaken in this particular area. And as a result, new equipment exists that indeed revolutionises the lives of those patients. And when the lives of existing spinal injury patients are improved, that improves the lives of their families. And that is the predominant aim in the setting up of the charity Giving for Living. So how are we going to do this? How are we going to actually pinpoint who needs funding or who doesn't? We're not going to differentiate. We are going to give funding and bring every single unit within the UK up to date and into the 21st century. Every patient will feel the fact that we have changed and brought up to date their equipment, their new striker beds, and taken the pressure off their units. Improved physiotherapy facilities. So where are we going to get all the money to do this? Well, we're very interested in the following. Payroll giving. A huge area. Millions of people are employed by multinationals. And we only need £1 out of even 1 million of those people. That's a lot of money coming in once a month. £1 per person. We're going to be having a lot of talking to do to the CEOs and managing directors of these companies. We're going to be having a very strong online presence. Setting up a Facebook page, a Twitter feed, advertising online. Having a role and being on the World Wide Web is going to be integral to our very existence in today's digital world. We are going to be applying for national lottery funding, EU grants and government funding. Finally, we will be using the old, tried and tested methods of just fundraising at local and national level. We will finally have a communications department where we will issue press releases. Issuing press releases ups our profile. We will have access to national television and national print media. That is our goal, to up our profile. So let me tell you now, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit about the structure of the charity. The charity on registration was registered as an incorporated charity, meaning that we can employ people. We can render charitable services. We can enter into commercial contracts. We can own land and freehold property and manage our own funding. That gives us a lot of latitude. But being part of an incorporated structures there is an absolute need for what's known as a governing document. And that governing document states the following. We have to state as a charity, what is the purpose of our charity? How do we intend to garner and gain that purpose? Because we do have parameters in which we have to work. It also is responsible for the setting up of the board of trustees and deciding how the chairperson is nominated. It is also up to us, within that governing document, it states that we as the board of trustees can indeed change that governing document should we want to expand the role of the charity. And finally, there is a provision known as the dissolution provision, which allows us to wind that charity down if and when we believe we have achieved all our goals. So what, in summary, do we intend to do, and what goals do we intend to have achieved in year 1, year 3 and year 5? At the end of year 1, we intend to have all our funding in place and all of that payroll giving, online presence and all of our communications departments set up, funding rolling in. At the end of year 3, we intend to have every single unit within the UK fully up to date into the 21st century. And those patients, the quadriplegics, the paraplegic patients and their families will feel the difference. Finally, at the end of year 5, we intend to be turning the sods on those new dedicated units. So, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I have one further announcement. I want to tell you that a vast sum of money has already been pledged to us. And I know, with the enthusiasm that's here tonight and all of the people that I am familiar with, that this charity is going to be a resounding success, a household name. But most importantly, the lives of all those with spinal injuries will be mostly greatly enhanced and improved. Thank you very much.